Hello dear students, I am Dr. Swati Punkar, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Shri Shivaji Science College, Amravati, and welcome you all in certificate course into Modern Horticulture and Landscaping under the scheme of career-oriented program. And today's topic is different propagation methods. So, first we see what do you mean by propagation? Propagation is simply multiplication or the production of plants, which you can do by using your own plants. Because of the commercialization of crops by several techniques have been developed to grow plants, all techniques are designed to achieve specific goals like uniformity in crops, increased productivity, disease-resistant plants, and plants with the desired characters. Propagation is the process by creating new plants. If you have ever planted a seed or stuck a stem in water until it forms root, that you stuck it in a pot or planted it in the garden, you have experienced the propagation. Some plants are easier than others to propagate, and different methods work better with the different plants. There are different methods of propagation, that is the natural methods and the artificial method. In the artificial method, the plant production that involves the human intervention. The most common type of artificial vegetative reproduction techniques include cutting, grafting, layering, micropropagation, then tissue culturing. These methods are employed by the many farmers and the horticulturists to produce the healthier crops with more desirable qualities, which you all already studied. Then the next is the natural method. The natural methods happens when the plants grow and develop naturally without human intervention. Uh, an important ability that is the key to enabling the natural vegetative propagation in plants is the ability to develop adventitious roots. Through the formation of adventitious roots, new plants may sprout from the stems, roots, or the leaves of parent plants. And these modified stems are most often the source of vegetative plant propagation. Vegetative plant structure that arise from the plant stem including rhizome, runners, bulbs, tubers, and the corms. Tubers can also stretch from the roots. Plantlets emerge from the plant leaves. These are the types of natural method. So first we see the budding. Budding is the mode of asexual reproduction wherein a new plant is developed from the outgrowth known as a bud. A bud is generally formed due to the cell division at one particular site. For example, if you keep a potato for a long time, you can notice the number of small outgrowths which are commonly referred to as the eyes. Each of them can be planted, which will grow up like a clone and the original potato plant. Then the next one is the rhizomes. The vegetative propagation may occur naturally through the development of rhizomes. Rhizomes is also known as the rootstocks, is a type of plant stem situated either at the soil surface or underground at the contents nodes from each root and shoot originated. You can see in these photographs. The rhizomes are unique in that way that grow perpendicular, permitting the new shoots to grow up out the ground. Then the rhizomes are modified stems that typically grow horizontally along the surface or the beneath of the ground. The rhizomes are the storage site for the growth substance such as proteins and starch. As the rhizome extends, the roots and shoot may arise from the segments of rhizome and develop into the new plants. Certain grasses, lilies, and the orchids the propagate in this manner. The primary function of the rhizome is the storage of nutrients, including the carbohydrates and proteins. Some farmers use the vegetative reproduction to laterally propagate the plant. such as ginger and the various grasses. Then there are some examples of rhizomes such as underground rhizome, above ground rhizome, and the multi-layered rhizome. In the underground rhizome, uh, by far the most dominant type of rhizome in this type, or you can see in this picture, which is situated the underground and includes the ginger, then the poison oak, grass species, and the bamboos. These are the examples of the underground rhizome. The many of these plants have rhizome that are consumed by the humans. Then the next one is the above ground rhizomes. In this type, the rhizomes are situated from the soil level, and the examples of these plant species including the ferns, and next one is the multi-layered rhizome. In these, rhizomes occurs as a single layer from which the shoots and roots originate. However, there are some plant species which form multiply layer in the complex network. For example, the giant horsetail, uh, you can see in this picture, the multi-layered rhizome. Then the next one is the runners. Runners is also called as the stolons. These are similar to the rhizomes in that they exhibit the horizontal growth at or the just below the soil surface. Then, like the rhizomes, they originated from the existing stems. As the runners grow, they develop roots from the buds located at the nodes and their tips. The intervals between the nodes and the internodes are the more widely spaced in the runners and than in the rhizome. The new plants arise at the nodes and their shoots develop. This type of propagation is seen in the strawberry. This is the example of the runners, strawberry. Then the next one is the bulb. In the bulbs are round, swollen parts of the stem that are typically found in the underground. Within these organs of vegetative propagation lies the central shoot of new plant. The bulb consists of bud that is surrounded by the layer of fleshy, scale-like leaves. These leaves are the source of food storage and provide the nourishment to the new plant. The example of these bulb that develop from the bulbs include the onion, garlic, daffodils, lilies, tulip. Then the oxalis in the Oxalaceae family is the only dicotyledonous genus that produce the true bulbs. Then the next one is the bulbil. Bulbil is a small bulb, and they may also be called as the bulbilled or the bulbil. The small bulbs can develop the propagate the large bulb. If one or several moderate sized bulb from the or the from to replace the original bulb, they can called renewable bulb. The increased bulbs are the small bulbs that develops the either on each of the leaves inside the bulb or the ace on the end of small underground stem connected to the original bulb. Some lilies, such as the tiger lily, form small bulbs called the bulbibs in their leaf exiles. Several members of the onion family, including Allium sativum, from bulbibs in their the flower heads. Uh, these are the examples of the bulbils. Then the next one is the tubers. Tubers are the vegetative organs that may develop from the stem or the root. The stem tuber arises from the rhizomes or the runners that become swollen from storing nourishment. The upper surface or of the tuber produce the new plant shoot system, that is the stem and leaves, while the bottom surface produce the root system. The potatoes and the yams are the example of the stem tuber, or the sweet potato also the example of tuber. The root tubers originated from the roots that have been modified into the stored nutrients. And these roots become enlarged and may give rise to the new plant. Then the next one is the corms. The corms are the enlarged bulb-like underground stem. These vegetative structures store nutrients in the fleshy, solid stem tissue and are typically externally surrounded by the papery leaves. Due to their physical appearance, the corms are commonly confused with the bulbs. The major difference is that the corm contains solid tissue internally and the bulbs have only layer of leaves. The corms produce adventitious roots and possesses the bud that developed into the new plant shoots. The plants that develop from the corms include the crocus, then the gladiolus and the taro. These are the examples of corms. You can see in these photographs, that is, this is the uh, last year corm, then the proceeding year corm, and these are the adventitious root. Then in the upper side, this is the newly developed corm, and these are the leaves. Then the sucker. Sucker is also known as the root sprouts. The suckers are the plant stem that arise from the buds on the base of the parent plant stem or on the roots. The example of plants that use suckers are the apple, banana trees. Uh, these are the examples of suckers you can see in this diagram. Then this is the sucker, or you may call as a sucker. Then the next one is the plantlets. The plantlets are the vegetative structure that developed on some plant leaves. These miniature, the young plants arise from the meristem tissue located along the leaf margin. This is the leaf and this is the leaf margin. At the maturity, the plantlet develops roots and drop from the leaves. They take root in the soil to form the new plants. And an example of the plant that propagates in this manner is the calanchoe. The plantlets may also develop from the runners of certain plants such as the spider plants. Okay, this is the plantlets and this is on the leaf margin. These plantlets are grown, and then from these are the new plants from these plantlets. Then the next one is the fragmentation. Fragmentation is a mode of asexual reproduction in which the new plant is produced from the portion of the parent plant. Each section or the part of the plants develop into a mature, fully grown individual. Some plant possesses the specialized structure of reproduction through fragmentation. This type of reproduction happens naturally where the small part of the plant fall off onto the soil and then begin to grow up into the new plant. This mode is often used by the nurseries and the greenhouses to produce the plants quickly. Okay, this is again the type of vegetative propagation. Then the last one is the spore formation. The many plants and the algae forms the spores in their life cycle. The spore is and the asexual reproduction body surrounded by the hard protective cover to withstand unfavorable conditions such as the high temperature and the low humidity. Under favorable condition, the spores germinate and grow into the new plants. The plants like mosses, ferns use this mode of reproduction, that is the spore formation. The plant propagation is the process of increasing the number of plants of a particular species or the cultivar. And you can use these various techniques to grow the plant. Okay, so thank you.